Hi beautifuls, welcome back. We are here to dive into 2021 and the astrology and all your must knows. Now, if you haven't sub. If you do want to follow me and you feel this content relates to you individually, please write in the comment section how it does. I love to hear your feedback. Now, we're moving away from a very interesting 2020 and into a very unique 2021 that for a lot of us collectively hasn't happened on this planet before. And we are entering the air signs. We had both Saturn and Jupiter moving into Aquarius. So it is very much that Aquarian age themes coming through. So we're going to tune into this week up until the 8th. What will be coming up for you, what the planets are doing, and how they're going to affect you. Now this month we do have Uranus and Taurus going stationary direct on the 1st. We also have Mars transiting out of Aries and into Taurus, and that's occurring on the 7th. Venus is also transiting into Capricorn on the 8th, and we also, towards the end of the month, will have a Mercury retrograde. We also this year have 3 squaring aspects Saturn is making, which are quite major aspects of this year's astrology. The dates that that's occurring is going to be February the 17th, June the 14th, and December the 24th. Now we'll get deep into your astrology and tell you how this week up until the 8th is going to affect your zodiac sign. Hi Capricorn. Now for your zodiac sign, let's have a deep look at what potentially can be playing out for your zodiac sign and how to navigate the matrix of those given situations between the 1st and the 8th of January 2021. Now we do have, as I mentioned, Uranus and Taurus moving stationary direct on the 1st day of the month, and it will move forward by the 14th. But in the interim, you may find that very 5th house placement aspects can be playing out for you. If you did have a lot of internalization, reflection, and quality systems relating to your creative endeavors, maybe restrictions when it did come to launching those things. This can even be the luxuries that you were having, and you had been working very hard to get those things back in balance. You may find as it moves forward, you can have sudden changes in this domain. However, Uranus in Taurus does tend to bring yin and yang effects. So if, for instance, there had been a lot of luxuries splurged upon, you can tend to find as it goes direct, the karma connected to it can be there, but it can transform things. It's not there to punish us. It's there to show us the things while it's in retrograde of what needs to be transformed. And as it goes direct, these things can shift and change. And I feel it will be for the better. We also have Black Moon, Lilith and Taurus. And this month, after the 6th, we're going to be having Mars in Aries move out of Aries and into Taurus. So again, very 5th house placement themes for your zodiac sign. Now, like I said, 5th house placement can be creative pursuits, it can be luxuries, it can be pastimes, artistic endeavors. So those areas of what you're trying to get into balance. You can find that children, your luck, romance can be connected to this department. And because it's Taurus, it can be the physical value systems of it. Facing your shadow inside it, Lilith will assist with that. With Mars, it will help you take control over that domain, bringing it in, ushering that abundance in, that transformation for you. Now, you'll have a lot of growth through 2021 in the area of your 2nd house. Now, this can be various things. It can be A, your self-esteem. B, it can be your net worth value. It's how you can stream your income, increase it, network, your professional resources, your material value. So those areas are set to really boom for you, providing you use it effectively. Now, we do have for the first 6 months approximately, Jupiter in Aquarius. Now, this is where you're really having to take the bull by the horns and make those things happen. And especially if you're wanting to apply for jobs, look outside the box. Try and achieve those targets at a financial level personally. Using the first 2 weeks in this month to launch projects, to apply for jobs, to look outside the box to do those things is going to be pivotal. We really do have a very large opportunity with Jupiter in that placement to pull everything together. So it is going to be quite full on in the first week due to the fact that Mars is transiting and it is making squaring aspects to Saturn and Pluto. Okay, now this month and this week in particular may kind of mirror a little bit of 2018, 2019. And probably more so when the nodes were in Cancer and Capricorn, because we do have a lot of Capricorn energy in the astrology this month as well as this week. Now, last month on the 30th, we had the full moon in Cancer, which is your shadow sign, as well as it does link to your 7th house placement. So those themes will still be playing during this month due to the aspects of the astrology. Now, on the first day of the month, we're going to be having the moon transiting through your 8th house of Leo. So your emotions can be very focused on, building your income, how to bring things together, how to join with particular areas. And this can be within your employment, within, wider groups, but it's emotional connections and it's financial connections, and it can be shared resources. So after we had the full moon in Cancer, trying to complete things, which was your 7th house placement of marriages, contracts, partnerships. Now that we have all of that information from 2020 and prior, we're moving into 2021 in the first week of January, attempting to pull that together. So emotions can be very focused intuitively on that area of life, wanting to have deeper meaning, wanting to pull things together, and it can be heart chakra activation. We're also having Mercury in Capricorn sextiling Neptune in Pisces, which for you is your 1st and your 3rd house. So as I mentioned, a lot of themes surrounding your thoughts on where you want to be, how you see things, and communicating such. And especially with your routines, getting things done. I do feel this is really going to benefit you. If you were wanting to get new devices, cars and things to that degree, there can be opportunities this month where that does come up. But we're also really guided to be cautious on the bigger picture of things. But there are benefits in the first 2 weeks of this month to be able to do such. Now, your emotions, again, can be coming up on the 2nd relating to sharing. Building, growing, and pulling those things forward. Now, we do have Mars squaring Jupiter. So again, that can be the difficulties that you may be feeling inside of life to try and achieve those things with what you have versus, how you're going to put the energy into it. And we did just have Mars in Aries go retrograde last year. We're still recouping from that. We also had Aries in Chiron retrograde. And this can link into your 4th house placement. Now, there's going to be pressure there until it transits into your 5th house. So all of that tension is going to be building, and that can be surrounding home, getting things done. Maybe a lot of energy placed there, which makes sense because we had the full moon in Cancer, which was relating to the 7th house, but it also can relate to home, family. Trying to deal with those subject matters, the tension can be in that placement. So if you're working from home, for instance, there can be pressure that has been there for a while. If you've been renovating or needing to move and doing any of that, for this week, yes, there can be tension. But as we move beyond the 6th, you will find the pressure will be alleviated from that as Mars transits different zodiac signs this year. So with it transiting into Taurus, it is there till the 3rd of March, and then it's entering Gemini. Now pay attention to the nodal energy that we had with the eclipses, because that energy will be playing out, as well as both Saturn and Jupiter with their transits this year. They will be key themes for you, and those opportunities you wish to grab from Jupiter really need to be implemented in the first 6 months. So it may sound strange moving into the beginning of the year, almost getting ready, getting set to work, getting things in order. But really, that is the theme, and it's really the advice to get as much as you can get physically done within your own physical power, but to understand that Mars energy can be causing friction and tension. So try and be patient, deal with any tasks relating to home, your daily routine, your movement. It is going to ease up and you will be able to move forward after the 7th. Now on the 3rd and the 4th, the moon is transiting Virgo, and a lot of subjects to do with, and again, with the 9th house, this can be study, education. It's very Sagittarius in energy. These themes of your belief systems, education, upskilling, communication, travel, purpose, if you're doing your work via the media, when I say media, IT, those themes can come up. So it's foreign energy. Your emotions relating to it can be coming up. Now, I'm also seeing, emotionally speaking, you may wish to, in a situation, you may think that you need to know more information. You're trying to see other people's viewpoints. You also are trying to tie things up so potentially you can move and you can travel. So however it's playing out, emotions, Virgo energy, A, it's in the moon. B, we look at the Virgo energy. Virgos are very good at meticulous fine details, and Capricorn, you guys are great for that leveling up, getting things done. So this can work very well, very similar in energy fields. Now with it, if you feel things are out of sort and need addressing prior to movement, prior to launching, get those things done. It also can be emotions relating to your children, their schooling, their education, and you know, emotions relating to those departments can come up on this day. Now we do also on the 2nd have Mars squaring Jupiter, so there can be tension points, as I mentioned, between home and your actual professional resources. It can be your self-esteem, your emotions, maybe nervous energy, especially with Uranus and Taurus going stationary direct. So paying attention to your vibration is going to be very important. Now on the 4th, during the time the moon is transiting Virgo and it's linking to your 9th house, we also have Mercury conjunct Pluto. Now both of these situations are within your 1st house placement, and there could be something that you're trying to tie up, either emotionally, psychologically. It could be trying to solve a problem and getting life back on track, and it does feel that it's all on Capricorn's shoulders. Try and trust yourself, because I do feel you'll be able to complete this. Whatever it is, it could be this, it almost feels like information coming to you or a light bulb moment. Trust those hunches. Almost hearing devil in the detail due to the fact that the moon is transiting Virgo. So if you've been really wanting to bring things together, get them to where they need to be, fine tune them. Again, if your routine has been quite unsettling at times, you'll find that these things are being ironed out. Now on the 5th and the 6th, we are having the moon transit Libra. You're also going to have the energy within the sun being in Capricorn until the 19th to get things done, to be able to take that accountability, but it will feel like a pressure cooker. With the moon being in Libra, emotions relating to work, career field, the need for balance, trying to work on balance. And, you know, these can be your feelings, really needing to have balance when it links to career, wanting to have a balanced life moving forward. And it does make sense, because you are going to be having themes of the 5th house placement playing out. And with the 8th house, you will tend to find that, you know, those creative endeavors and pursuits with both the 5th and the 8th house, it's finding unique ways to have surplus income in different ways. How would we describe it? Passive income. Now on the 6th, we're still having Mercury conjunct Pluto, which again is similar themes. Keep working through it. You're going to get through it. We're also having Mars exiting Aries, but it will increase in degree points, which can be a pressure day. So bear in mind that between the 6th and the 7th, and maybe even the 5th, this can be a tension point, but working through it, knowing it's just a week, a lot of what you're going to achieve in this week is going to be crucial for your future. As I mentioned, your creative endeavors will move forward pretty much within a few days, you may find, as you're pushing these themes forward. Now, the tension point is going to come from the nodes. Now, 6th house placement is very much linking to, how do we put it? It's the house of hidden enemies, but as I've mentioned prior, this can be where we're standing in our way and not creating healthy boundaries, or it can be where we empathically understand or don't have enough information. So, we can potentially give our power away. So when it does come to individuals and dealing with other people, the healthy boundary would be with self, but not, not being over compassionate. And that's going to be the real challenge with both Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius, is that in one breath it's wanting to bring everything together and understand everybody's point of view, but in the other breath it's almost forgetting about ourselves, which can be to the detriment. It's a bit like the old analogy I use: an aeroplane's going down, the air hostess says to you, always put your mask on first. It's we can't help others if we don't help ourselves, but we can't this week be an ego to a point that we ignore these things. There does need to be this healthy balance in those areas. So on the 6th, with Neptune in Pisces squaring the nodes, I am seeing a theme playing out for you where there can be some frustration when it does come to your almost like missing information. That's really the way I see it. Being you wanting to get things off the ground, the frustration relating to it, something's blocking it. Could it be your ability to get to work? Could it be how you're working from home? What would you need to shift around for those things to happen? When it does come to your communication, it can be crosswise relating to the 6th house. Now, 6th house can also be health. So if there has been some difficulty, and it can be throat related, because we have it in the 3rd house and the 6th, however it be, paying attention to that, getting it checked. Now, if you left things late, and this could be a potential, it may be you or another person, but it's playing out in your chart. Although you're wanting to have the balance from the 6th and you're working on things, you may have maybe undercalculated something. And that can be time frames, getting things done, frustration relating to travel, communication technology. And getting those things done can be a tension point. I would suggest to keep going, but this day can be a pressure point day for you, and frustration linking to, your work, the way you're showing up. It can even be linking to pets or your transport, because we do have the 3rd house there with Pisces. Can be missing information, not being able to pull something together at the time that you were directly wanting, with that emotion being in Libra. Some of you, this can be subjects if you are working with other individuals and not doing something as your own personal venture. There can be frustrations relating to that. Now, as the moon transits Scorpio, you do have 11th house placement, and this is to do with hopes, dreams, aspirations. So you can be really feeling in on how you're looking at those things, what they look like to you, what those things are going to be. And also, I do feel around this time you may be a little bit standoffish, and that's due to the fact Scorpio wants to dig deep, and it's trying to understand situations, comprehend things. But you can also be a little bit protective of your ideas, your creative projects, and really focusing on it, especially with the 6th house that we had the day before for you. You may have an inkling that people maybe aren't being honest. People are maybe hiding things from you and trying to undermine potentially even your authority or your position in a situation. And that can be in your personal or your working life. Now, we are having, by this stage, Mars moving into Taurus, as I mentioned, which does link to your 5th house placement. We're also on the 8th going to be having less pressure in that area. Between the 7th and the 8th, you'll find that that pressure that you had linked to your 4th house placement of home, accommodation. You know, 4th house placement's really not fun. I had that for quite a few years. That's because I do have energies of Cancer in my zodiac sign. So I can completely resonate and understand, you know, what you have been going through. You can also be helping a lot of people during that time. So, you know, trying to tie those things up so that you can actually, you know, focus on maybe some of your hopes and dreams and get things done. It can be a bit testing. It can be parenting, you know, helping friends, can even be working from home and trying to balance that out and adjusting to that factor. Now, from the 8th, we do have Venus entering Capricorn, your 1st house. You will be thinking about what you're wanting to do inside of your marriages, contracts, partnerships, what your position is. You also will be very focused on that. It will be highlighted. You also will have the 2nd house placement with Mercury entering Aquarius. So thoughts on your money, thoughts on how to build things, how to increase that area, what your routine is and how you're pulling things together. But it can be quite busy from that 2nd house placement. So information coming in. Any paperwork you need to do, get it done by mid-month. And that's due to the fact that we'll start having those shadow effects of Mercury going retrograde by the end of the month, but there will you will feel that shadow energy at that point. So it's highly advised to get anything relating to IT, relating to documentation in order prior to that transit. Now, with the Sun in Capricorn sextiling Neptune in Pisces, this can be some of your hopes and dreams and your routine and even information coming in because you have been putting the energy into a situation. This can be a point where somebody maybe acknowledges you for what you have achieved. I'm also seeing by the chart on the 8th what you're thinking and tuning into versus the ability for it to grow. There can be something that you feel is missing, something that, or maybe some steps that you're not taking, difficulties on the 8th. But the crazy thing is, because Venus in Capricorn is trining Mars and Taurus, it's actually showing that these will be positive. So, you know, stepping back from it, sometimes this can be where we're ready to quit because of frustration. And we're really guided to move past this frequency and look at these situations, and you may not wish to invest or be risky during this month, but there can be some benefits coming, especially because we do have both Saturn and Jupiter making conjunction points this week. Okay, all the must-knows, Capricorn. Number one, I would say, with the pressure of anything relating to home, get your paperwork in order. Make sure that if you are trying to change things up, be it you're employed and you're working from home, be it it's your daily routine, understand there's going to be pressure there. So try and be patient with it. Make sure you dot all your I's, cross all your T's, and you will get the benefits out of this. Now, the pressure point on that will be alleviated by the time we have Mars transiting Taurus. The other energy can be coming up for you is your foundation, because it's both home, 4th house placement, and Capricorn energy, it's base chakra. So, you know, it can be where you are needing to, if you're having lower back issues, for instance. If you're wanting a booking, so
last but not least, the booking info is below. I'll see you next week, Leo.
Theoretically. So, you know, doing that, and disconcern between you feeling what is correct. If your lower back energy is going, a holistic would be base chakra energy, red food groups, rubies. This can also create that stability financially moving forward. I am seeing by the beginning of the month, you may have heart chakra activation when it links to your emotions of Leo. This can be expansion, and if you clear that chakra, it can actually manifest cash components for you, providing your lower chakras are clear. I am seeing throat chakra related dynamics, playing out for you, but I don't know, to a degree I think it's on the opposite spectrum. For some of you, it could be other people are not communicating effectively with you and you're gauging them very similar to a Scorpio, so it depends on how it's going to play out for you. When it does come to your romance, I do feel in the first week you do feel like you have a lot on your plate. I do feel a lot of internalization. As we move forward, I feel you will reach your conclusion, but you do need to be patient with people around you with the pressure this week. But I do feel any creative projects that you're dealing with can really be very beautiful, especially in this week, the work you're putting into it, trying to move things around for those of you that resonates in the employment sector. Now, those of you who aren't working, the first 2 weeks of January, and maybe even if you're listening to this prior to January, getting things relating to your creative projects in order, home-related dynamics in order, cleansing your house for that new chi energy, and also getting to a point that if you are going to launch something or applying for jobs and positions and looking at your net worth value, you're doing that prior to mid-month January. Okay, beautiful Capricorns, I will see you next week. Thank you for dropping by. If you do feel this content resonates, please drop me a comment. I love to read them. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And I will see you during the live sessions for Twin Flame Path. Any energies that I feel I need to come to you guys with, I do tend to come to you live. And we do have the super chat. We also have a lot more additional content coming in 2021. Astrology, moon energy, chakra, twin flame path. You name it, we're covering it. Love you, Caps. See you soon.